Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Chantilly Racecourse here on Sunday. It is June the 2nd, 2019. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on the program from Chantilly, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and also join me next week starting Thursday for the Belmont Stakes Festival from Belmont Park here in New York. It looks like it's going to be an excellent festival. I'll have preview selection for all those days here on YouTube. It all goes up to Saturday, which is the big day, the Belmont Stakes, the final leg of the American Triple Crown, and that looks like it's going to be a great race. So join me here on YouTube for that, and join me next Sunday for some great jumps action from Auteuil, some great Grade 1 races there, so I'll have a preview for that here on YouTube also. But today's PRIX Du Jockey Club day from Chantilly. It's the French Derby, and it looks like it's going to be a great race, so we'll get to that, but we have some other stakes races to look at, so I'm going to look at the group races on the program, races 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So races 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So let's get on to it. The second race from Chantilly, it's the Group 2 PRIX Du SANDRINGHAM Stakes. It's a Group 2 race going for a purse of $150,000. That's in the American dollar currency, not the euros, just keep that in mind. Races for 3-year-old fillies. 7 horses are going 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course. My top selection, I'm going to take the 7-horse Mathematica. I'm going to go 7-1-6 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 7-1-6 Tri-Cash Trifecta. That's the top 3 basically. Top selection 7-horse Mathematica. The 3-year-old filly by Rocket Gibraltar. Maxime Guillon gets the leg up 2-1 here. The horse's most recent outing came 12th of May at Longchamp. Yielding ground, good to soft ground. 1 mile in the Group 1. Pour d'Essai de Polices, the French 1,000 guineas. The horse finished 5th by 2 lengths and didn't have the best run that day. I don't think he liked the going. Never quickened up, but it wasn't the day to win. I think coming here with a drier, good going, this horse should just improve a lot better here. Before that, at Chantilly, on the 8th of April here on the turf course, 1 mile in a three-year-old main race, the horse finally broke the main, stepped down loads of class. The course and distance winner, winning by 3 lengths. It was an all-around easy race there, but you know, it was a step down class, but this horse ran her heart out against tough horses in the fall. 7th of October, this horse ran a Longchamp at 1 mile in good soft yielding ground in the Group 1 Prix Marcel Boussac Stakes, and this horse ran a very good second place finish by a nose behind Lily's Candle. Almost broke the maiden there, quickened up nicely, just missed, but she ran a massive race, I thought. And then at Longchamp, 1 mile in good ground in an allowance race against winners there, she finished second behind a very good horse there by a nose. Again, I thought she ran well. She's coming here back to Chantilly where she has her only victory, but like I said, she's run 4 times, and I thought she should run 4 good races, but she hasn't gotten in front other than that one time. But I like her a lot. Good post run. 2-1, it's not the best price in the world. Let's hope they bet the 1 horse into the ground so this horse could drift up in odds to maybe 7-2. If we get 7-2 on this horse at post, I'll be very happy. But 2-1 right now, it's not the best, but we'll have to take it. Let's hopefully hit the Tri-Cast too to make some extra money with this race. So to recap my selection for the second from Chantilly, it's the PRIX Du SANDRINGHAM, the Group 2 PRIX Du SANDRINGHAM. Gonna go with the 7-horse Mathematica. I'll go 7-1-6 in the Tri-Cast Trifecta. To race number 3. Race number 3 from Chantilly. It's the Group 2 Prix du GROS-CHENE Stakes. It's a Group 2 race going for a purse of $150,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 5 horses go 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs down the straightaway here at Chantilly. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 2-horse Inns of Court. I'm going to go 2-4-5 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 2-4-5 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 2-horse Inns of Court. 5-year-old horse by Invisible Spirit. Miguel Barcelona gets the leg up for Andre Fob and Godolphin. The horse's most recent appearance came 26th of April at Maisons of Yield on yielding ground, 6 furlongs in listed stakes, and his seasonal reappearance back to his sprinting trip. He did everything right. He won by half length. It wasn't the most impressive victories, but he got the job done. It was a very good run there with the heavyweight. Gets 2 less pounds of 129 pounds in this race today. I think that should be good for him. But before that, I don't know why they ran this horse long in the Hong Kong Mile at Chantilly. 1 mile, December the 9th. He finished 14th by 12 lengths, beat nobody home, and you know, he's just not a miler. I think he's going to be a better sprinter. And then before that, he ran at Maisons of Yield on 31st of October, 6 furlongs in the Group 3 Prix Sanité de Oise Stakes. Pardon me if I mispronounced the race name wrong, but he finished 4th by 3/4 in length there. It was an all-out finish, just couldn't get in front, but I thought he still ran a decent race. And then the Prix de la Forêt at Longchamp, maybe that's the reason why they thought about running this horse at a mile, going 7/8 of a mile at Longchamp on Arc Day. He finished second by a nose. He was drawn a little bit too wide, and you know, one master just had the jump on him, but you know, I just don't think he really liked the 7 furlong trip there. And then the Prix du Pin at Longchamp, he finished 3rd by 3/4 in length. He was drawn again a little bit wide. He just never got into it. But back to his sprinting trip, step down class. class, second off the break. I think he's sitting on a good run. At 2-1, I'll take him. He's not the best price in the world, I do admit. But to recap my selection for the third from Chantilly, it's the Group 2 PRIX du GROS-CHENE. Gonna go with the 2-horse Inns of Court. I'm gonna go 2, 4, 5 in the tri-cash trifecta. Race number 4 from Chantilly now. It is the Group 2 Grand Prix de Chantilly. It's a Group 2 race going for a purse of $150,000 race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have 7 horses going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the turf course. My top selection here is a very wide open race. I'm going to go with the 6-horse Fullermore. I'm going to go 6-4-1 in the tri-cash trifecta. 6-4-1 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection of 6-horse Fullermore. This 4-year-old killed by Intello. Maxime Guillon's on this one for Andre Fabre. The horse's most recent outing came the 4th of May at Longchamp, yielding ground a mile and a half in the Group 3 Prix de Hauteville, and he finished second by a head behind Petit Félix, who is running back in this one today. Petit Félix ran a hell of a race at 10-1. This horse, he had that little bit of a turn of foot, but I just don't think he liked the going. His better races, I thought, have come on drier ground. He doesn't like a heavy ground, but he doesn't like a firm ground either. He likes the good going. But it's a little bit too wet for him at Longchamp last time. His wheels are spinning, and also I don't know if he was 100% cranked that day. Why run for the $100,000 purse when you can run for $150,000 here today? But I just don't think he did well there. Before that, Saint-Cloud, a mile and a half in the listed stakes. First off a break, he won by a head, but again, if you watch the replay of that race, he wasn't 100% fit, but he got the job done. Good turn of foot. He won nicely. And then a Longchamp, a mile and a quarter in the Group 3 Prince d'Orange. He finished third by 5.5 lengths. That race was a very good running this year in September, but he just never had that good turn of foot. But a lot of the horses that come out in that race run decently. And then the Grand Prix de Patty, he finished fourth by 5.5 lengths, and he just never got into it. But I think he's coming here to a Group 2, and this, to tell you the truth, this is not the world's toughest Group 2. Coming here, good post draw. If he sits a little bit closer, I think he could get a piece of it. At 4-1, I think he could do well. He looks like the kind of horse that could get around the final bend here at Chantilly, which could be a little tricky at times. But if there's another horse that could get a piece of it, I think the old man, the 4-horse Silver Wave, could get a piece of it. Marty Schwartz owns this one. Christophe Simeon gets the leg up. This horse's most recent outing came the 8th of May at Léon Paris, a mile and a half in the listed stakes, and he won very nicely by 6.5 lengths. He quickened up nicely, and he just won very, very easily. Before that, again, in the allowance race at Léon Paris in early April, he won by 2.5, stepped down class from the last few, and he just won for fun. And then his 2 reappearance races or 3 reappearance races in France, because before that, they took this horse to America for a 2018 campaign, which didn't really work out. But he won his reappearance in France at Constantmares very nicely on the all-weather from a wide poster, which is not ideal, but he won that. Then they took this horse to a listed stakes at Constantmares. Didn't do well on soft ground, and then he took this horse to Saint-Cloud in a listed stakes where he ran crap. But his 2 last races were good. He's stepping back up in class here to Chantilly today, but like I said, his last 2 races were run well. I think he could step up in class. Like I said, not the toughest Group 2 in the world, and I think he'd also get a piece of it. So the old man, I'll use him on some tickets also. But that 2018 campaign in America, he should have did a lot better, because the turf division in this country was very subpar last year. But that's for another day. But to recount my selection for the 4th from Chantilly, it's the Group 2 Grand Prix de Chantilly. I'll use the 6-horse Fullermore. I'll also give a few props to Silver Wave, the 4-horse, and I'll go 6-4-1 in the tri-cash trifecta. Let's get to the featured 5th race from Chantilly. The featured 5th race from Chantilly, it's the Group 1 PRIX du Jockey Club, the French Derby here. It's a Group 1 race going for a purse of just over $1.7 million, race for 3-year-olds only. Field of 15 horses are going about 1 mile and 5/16 or 2,100 meters on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 5-horse Roman Candle. I'm going to go 5-11-6 in the tri-cash trifecta. I know there's no trifecta wagering here, but that's going to be my top 3 here. 5-11-6. We'll talk about all 3 of them, starting with the 5-horse Roman Candle, my top selection. Godolphin owned, Andre Fabre trained, Miguel Barcelona going for his first PRIX du Jockey Club, gets leg up. The horse's the Striot Palais Harvey, the horse's most recent outing came the 1st of May at Saint-Cloud, a mile and a quarter in the Group 3, Group 2 Prix Gafoul. He won by a neck that day, and he stayed the trip well. He had a great turn of foot, and he won very nicely, I thought. He's coming back to the mile and a quarter again today. Second off the break, he should really do well. I like that he's run this trip twice already in his career, once as a 2-year-old, once as a 3-year-old. But that was a good run. Before that, at Longchamp on the 7th of April, mile and 8th, 1,800 meters in the Group 3 Prix La Force, he finished third by 2.25 lengths, and he just never got going with it. Never quickened up. It wasn't the day to win. And then at Deauville on 24th of October, about a quarter in a 2-year-old maiden race, he won by 2, and he just quickened up nicely, and he could have won by more, but Pierre-Charles Bedot, who rode the horse, didn't want to kill the poor thing. It was a very easy run there, and then before that, Saint-Cloud in a 1-mile maiden race, his first career out of ever, he finished second by 4 lengths, and I thought, again, he ran quite well. He has a good poster here from the inside. You want to save some ground around the bends here. If he runs a good race, I think he could be, getting a piece of it at the end. Miguel Barcelona rode a great race in this race last year from a wide poster up, but today it's the inside, and I think, I think the tables will turn. Last year, Olmedo ran a hell of a race to win it, Steady Man won this race last year, I think he was on Olmedo, Miguel Barcelona, I believe, but this horse, I think he's loaded here. Good post, 8-1. I think he get a piece of it. I think the 11 horse Kick On could give the English a winner in this race. This 3-0 colt by Charm City. The English based runners haven't won this race in quite a few years. I believe they won in the last 10 years. I believe 2012 or something like that. 2013. I think the Great Gatsby. But John Gosden trains when Ocean Murphy gets the leg up. Ocean Murphy was only one of the favorites yesterday for the English Derby. But wouldn't it be funny if he wins the French Derby today? But this 3-0 colt by Charm Spirit. His most recent out came at Newmarket on the 4th of May. 1 mile in the Group 1 2,000 guineas. He finished 7th by 5.5 lengths, and he never quickened up, but he never weakened out of it either. He stayed the trip well. I think this step up to a mile and 5/16, mile 2.5 furlongs should suit him well, and I think he's sitting on a good run. Something I've noticed, the format of that 2,000 guineas have been, some of the horses that have been running out of that race have been running decently, but then other horses have been running really crap. But I think he's the kind of horse that could really, with a step up in trip, it's going to really suit him. Before that, he ran the 16th of April in Newmarket, a mile and the 8th in the listed stakes, and he won by a neck. The extra 8th of mile he wanted. He quickened up nicely. It was a very good run. And then before that, on the 27th of October at Doncaster, 1 mile in the Group 1 Racing Post Futurity Trophy. Or that was the old name, and now it's called the Versham Futurity Trophy. He finished 6th by 3 1/4 lengths, and he just never quickened up, but he never weakened out of it either. He stayed the trip well, and then a Newmarket 1 mile, a 2-year-old maiden race. He won by 2.5 there, and he quickened up nicely, and it was a good, easy run. I like him here. Mile and a quarter. He's going to have to overcome the wide poster. If he can overcome it, I think he's a live horse. At 15-1, I'll definitely do a nice each-way wager on him. And the Wise Guy horse, I say, is the favorite, the 6-horse Persian King. If he could handle the trip, the mile 2.5 furlongs, he's going to win very easily. But if he doesn't, he's not going to win. This 3-0 colt by Kingman, also, he has to overcome the 14 barrier, which is very hard to do here. Pierre-Charles Bedot's on this one for André Fabre. This horse won the Poulines a few weeks ago here at Longchamp, the 2,000 guineas, and he won by a length there, and he just had an easy run. He probably didn't like the going there, but he still won nicely. I think he's the horse that's going to suit, the good going is going to suit him well. Before then, the Prix de Fontainebleau at Longchamp, 1 mile, April the 14th, he won by 5, and he was just much the best there. And then at Newmarket, 1 mile in the Godolphin Autumn Stakes, he won by a neck behind Magna Grecia and Circus Maximus. Magna Grecia is a 2,000 guineas winner, along with this one, but this horse, he just had the jump on him. It was a very good run. And then a Chantilly 1 mile in 2-year-old Lance race. He won here. He won by 5 lengths. He's actually, his 2 best races, I thought, have come here. He won back here in September and mid-September, and won here on the 1st September very nicely by 5 lengths and 8 lengths. So he likes this course. The biggest question today will be outside post draw and the trip. The last 2 times he's run here at Chantilly, he's been drawn low, which is always ideal here. But the wide poster is going to be the biggest question with him today. If he can, like I said, if he can handle those 2 things, like I just said, he could win easily. But if he doesn't, I don't know. Like I said, he's the Wise Guy horse here at 7-5. I'm just not going to take the chance on him by doing an each way wager on him. I think my other 2 horses have stronger chances in if you're going to do an each way. But he's a horse you could definitely use in the exotic wagers. But to recount my selections now for the 5th from Chantilly, it's the Group 1 Prix du Jockey Club, the $1.7 million Prix du Jockey Club. As a top selection, I'll use the 5-horse Roman Candle, and I'll also give props to the 11-horse Kick On. I'll go 5-11-6. 5-11-6 is my top 3 here. So now let's get to race number 7 from Chantilly. Race number 7 from Chantilly. It's the Group 3 Prix de ROYAUMONT Stakes. It's a Group 3 race going for a purse $92,500. Race for 3-year-old fillies. Fields of 9 horses going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go to the 9-horse Elide. I'm going to go 9-7 in the Forecast Exacta. 9-7 Forecast Exacta. Top selection 9-horse Elide. This 3-year-old filly by Telefio. Olivier Pellier gets the leg up at 5-1. The horse's most recent appearance came the 4th of May at Longchamp on yielding good to soft ground. 1 mile, 3/8, 2,200 meters in a 3-year-old listed stakes, and the horse finished second by 2.5 lengths. I thought she stayed the trip well. She had a good turn of foot. Probably didn't like the going, but she still ran well. I think the extra furlong should help, and I also think the quicker ground should help this horse a lot better. But like I said, she ran a good race. Before that, 30th of March at St. Cloud, a mile and a quarter in a 3-year-old lounge race, the horse finished second by a neck. Was just drawn a little bit too wide, and I just don't think that was the trip she wanted. I think she wants a little bit longer. And then in a 3-year-old maiden race at Chantilly, a mile and 8th, 1,800 meters on the all-weather poly track, 15th of February, seasonal reappearance. She won by 1.5 lengths, and she was just much the best. Couldn't win by more, but it was a very good, easy run against some quite lesser quality horses. And then before that, a 3-year-old maiden race at Toulouse, 1 mile on good ground at the end of November. She finished fourth by 2 lengths, drawn a little bit too wide. It wasn't the day to win, and you could say the race before same for the race before, where she's drawn too wide, where she finished second by 4 lengths. But today she gets a good inside post draw. She gets the veteran Olivier Pellier up, and I think she's sitting on a good run. At 5-1, I'll take her here. So to recap my selection for the 7th from Chantilly, it's the Group 3 Prix de ROYAUMONT. I'm going to go with the 9-horse Allied. I'm going to go 9-7 in the forecast exacta. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5. Good luck, everybody.